Welcome to B&H Creators Green Room, and just like a real green room, we're here to spill the tea with some of our favorite creators. So today, one of my favorite creators, Bea Chu, is joining us. She's not only a cool viral content creator, but an audio expert. And when I say audio expert, I mean like truly the GOAT in the niche. And I can't wait to kind of dive in and see your take on everything. Hey, Bea.
Hi, you are too kind. Thank you for the very, very packed and awesome intro.
B&H would co-host these like webinar boot camps where creators could come and like level up their production value. And then I would almost always go to your TikTok page and just show clips of you explaining like how to make a DIY log or just really complicated concepts that you made super snackable. And I think one, you're like the best educator online, like seriously. And two, like such a fan.
Super grateful for you guys.
So tell me how you got started, because obviously like you didn't have the same career trajectory as like a lot of other creators, but I know you are one of the other pandemic creators, which is becoming a trend that we're finding. So tell me the whole story.
Prior to the whole pandemic, I was doing sound design and sound engineering for theater shows. So when the pandemic hit, everything closed down. There were no shows that were being put up, and so I didn't have any excuse to not make content. So that was it. And then during the pandemic, everybody was doing like covers, but they weren't necessarily doing it right in a sense that they weren't using the equipment properly. And so it just sounded bad. I didn't want to like call anybody out because I'm pretty sure it's just like they just didn't know, right? So I decided to make that one video about the DIY lapel mic, which to me felt like a simple thing because back in college, I was surrounded by broke college students who were just doing DIY things, and so I decided to do that, and I put it out, and it blew up, and that's kind of where it started.
I love that too, because our last guest, Shu, but she came from like a TV, like also production background, very much in the industry. And I feel like the creators who have that really technical industry background are in a way able to translate that to content creation. I don't want to say it made the journey easier, but it definitely probably gives you a leg up in the content. And also, I think that's why you're able to kind of transition to like you focus so much on educating, what I think is so powerful.
So when the DIY lapel mic video blew up, I realized that there's no one topic that's too simple to talk about because there's always going to be beginners out there. And so there's always going to be somebody who's going to find what you have to talk about and what you have to teach valuable. And so I got into that because I realized that point, and I also saw that there was a big gap in the market. Nobody was really talking about audio specifically. If ever anybody did, it was in like the far end, which was like super technical. And for me, I felt like that was really hard to digest, try to explain it to like a 9 year old. Because if a 9 year old could understand, then I mean, like, then anybody can understand it, right?
I mean, I love that too, because like I have a tendency to tell my team, especially the B&H creators, like we're constantly doing these events that are like education focused, and I always say like don't over educate, right? Like not
Mm-hmm.
everyone understands like what ISO or f-stop is, but if you teach the theory behind that,
Yeah.
as if it's like a film 101 class, I feel like
Mm-hmm.
that's so much more insightful and like important. So
Mm-hmm.
do you have like maybe some favorite tips?
Nothing beats a quiet room. I know it's like it's kind of cliche. Mm-hmm.
Oh, I hear something
You
there
hear
too.
something, yeah. I know.
Perfect timing.
Perfect timing to point out like a quiet room.
I loved the one where you said like go under the covers if you're doing voiceover. Like genius.
Yes. My favorite tip is if you need to record a voiceover and you don't have anywhere to record it, inside a car is a good spot. It's contained, it's cushioned, and so the sound is not going to be bouncing around. It's not going to cause echoes or reverbs. Another one is record inside a closet. Just like put your microphone in front of like your clothes and then you're good to go.
I feel like people don't understand like it's texture, right? Like it's
Mm-hmm.
a way to like dampen or soften the sound wave movement. Yeah, totally. That's a great tip. Obviously, there's a lot of tools in post production that are changing
Yeah.
the game. Do you have thoughts on like all the AI stuff that's come out, or favorite tools that maybe have made sound editing a little easier?
AI tools now, they've gotten a lot better. So even like noise canceling and noise reduction, I would usually just say avoid it at all cost, because how noise reduction works is that it takes frequencies that it detects as noise, and then it lowers that or it cuts it. The problem with that is that our voice is just, it falls in like a dynamic range, and there's a chance that when you use noise reduction, it takes out some of the frequencies where our voice lies, which makes it sound unnatural. But now, with AI and how really good it has gotten, you can kind of get away with using noise reduction. Very simply, the built in ones in the more recent microphones
Hmm.
are pretty good, like the ones in Rode and the ones in Hollyland, as I've tried.
Hmm.
Another thing would be Premiere Pro. Premiere Pro enhanced speech. Usually, if it's not too noisy, you can get away with doing that. Yeah.
Okay, now obviously you have like such a profound like background in theater production. Would you ever go back, or are you a full-time
Good
content creator?
question.
Yeah.
I think that chapter and season of my life is done. Currently, I don't have any want to go back just because it gets so intense. It's such a privilege to be able to work and be part of a big production, and it feels very fulfilling when you're done and you get it right and all that. But it's also really high stakes, in my opinion, and
Mm.
so I I think I'm done with like the adrenaline of being behind like behind the scenes and behind the board. Now I do enjoy a lot like good Broadway musical
Hmm.
and just like shows. Speaking of which, I watched my very first Broadway show just in June. It was insane. It was insane.
Oh,
It was so cool. I watched Sunset Boulevard.
oh,
It was
very
so
cool.
nice. Hmm, hmm.
Was that when you were here for Build in June?
Yes,
Nice,
yes.
nice. We love that. Yeah. I feel like I didn't appreciate Broadway as a kid. I grew up in New York City and I just like we never went to shows. And then I became
Hmm,
an adult and I was like, "Wait, why did I not ask for this every birthday? Like what is this magic?" Like
hmm.
that's
I
awesome.
envy you guys a lot, but
Well, you
more
just
reason to
come
go
back.
back. Yeah, I
Yeah,
know.
exactly. Obviously you're doing these workshops now, you're focusing on
Hmm.
educating creators, you're using your platform to like lift other people up. Do you have like a plan for your own content in the meantime as well, or are you just like kind of focused on growing that community aspect?
Right now, I feel like I'm in like a slightly awkward phase because I've been doing so much over the years that I kind of want to bring it back and find a little bit more of myself and talk a little bit more about the journey as a creator. I'm finding out that we have a lot of similarities when it comes to like burning out and feeling
Hmm.
stuck and all that. And I think not a lot of people really talk about it collectively. We need like better support as creators, so that's something that I am thinking about opening myself up to talking about more. It's a little
Hmm.
hard because it's like vulnerability and all that, right? Definitely like the educational part of like helping people and the more technical aspect of it is not going to go away. It's just going to share a little bit of the stage, I guess. Locally, though, and hopefully internationally if it's possible, I still want to be able to teach in person workshops. At the core, what I really want to do is be able to take my experiences and the privilege that I have
Hmm.
in terms of the access to other creators internationally, being able to go and travel and talk to many different people, and be able to bring that back here and make that accessible to people who might not have the privilege to have that as well. Yeah.
Great, that's awesome. And are you excited or worried about like the content shifting a little more to like this vulnerable side? Like, are you worried about like the metrics or the algorithm or what people are gonna feel, any of that kind of stuff, or is that just noise?
It's inevitable for
Hmm.
me at least. It is worrisome because on one hand, being like a full-time content creator, this is like the bread and butter, and
Hmm.
so when your metrics take like a dip, optics wise it gets kind of scary because like brands
Hmm.
probably like, what's happening? But then on the flip side, which
Hmm.
is also something that I talk to other creators about, is that I also think that it's just us because we're always like um focused on the numbers, right? So we know when it goes up and it goes down, but then other people probably don't really know.
That's true. I mean, I feel like unless there's some big thing where like a lot of fans are unfollowing for some reason and those numbers kind of drop down, I feel like
Hmm.
all they can see is the views, your follower
Yeah.
count, like the pretty basic stuff. Yeah. For creators who are just starting out, I mean, I feel like a lot of the conversations that we get are like people afraid to find the lane that they want to kind of start creating in is too oversaturated. And obviously, like your
Mm,
lane, I feel like was a little more open at the time, but
yeah.
there's so many food creators, there's so many like beauty creators, and they kind of almost feel like they have imposter syndrome a little, like, oh, is it worth it for me to start this? There's so many people doing a similar thing.
I totally get what they mean because I've been there too. I feel like sometimes I still find myself there.
Mm-hmm.
And I just try to remember that and this is just more like looking inward. Like
Mm-hmm.
how many tech creators do you follow? The answer is you're probably following more than one, right? And so
Mm-hmm.
what's the reason for you to follow one and then still follow like four or five other people in the same niche? It's because at the core of it, what sets them apart is who they are, how they talk about it, and the experiences that they've gone through. Like
Mm-hmm.
even up till now, I went to like a workshop yesterday. So Life of Riza is here in Manila, was because she's not
Oh.
here anymore. Yeah,
Mm-hmm.
so she did like a workshop, and there was like a bunch of other creators there, and we did like an after like a dinner get together thing, and even then, just through conversation, I still pick up and learn a lot of things from other people just because they see things differently. They go about, like they've experienced different things, right? And so at the core of it, I feel like we will never run out of things to be able to share to people who will find it valuable. And it's
Mm-hmm.
just a matter of waiting and putting it out there for those people to find. Because one, there's never going to be a shortage of beginners in the world, so
Mm-hmm.
will always be babies born, um,
Mm-hmm.
and so there will always be people who will learn, and things will always evolve and things will always grow, and so there will never be a time wherein you have like an exact copy of yourself.
Mm-hmm.
And I think that's always going to be valuable. So just put it out there because if you don't put it out there, then no one's going to be able to find you.
It's a long game. It's
Yes.
not overnight. I feel like the pandemic creators like you and many others, it was a little bit of a special sauce situation
Mm-hmm.
because we were all like at home, literally in
Yeah.
lockdown, watching our phones. But
Mm-hmm.
I feel like those new creators have to give themselves a little more grace and a little more time to like really find that community. And then
Mm-hmm.
I guess let's talk about community because you're talking a lot about community, and I love that. And I feel like being a creator is very siloed. You're very alone for a lot of it. Is there an importance to kind of those going to those community building moments and finding people in your area? Like obviously it's important, but what are your
For
thoughts
sure.
there?
Yeah. I think that that was like the saving grace for me to make this sustainable,
Mm-hmm.
to be a content creator, because uh, it's a different kind of support to be surrounded by people who understand what you're going through, or either they're
Mm-hmm.
just about to go through what you're going through, which kind of gives you that kind of like that extra value because um, you get to help somebody, right? Because you've
Mm-hmm.
gone through it. But then at the same time, you get to meet people when you go to these events, people who are in the same exact like timeline as you, and so you
Mm-hmm.
share the same pains, you share like the same thoughts, the same experiences, and then there are people that you meet who might be a few steps ahead of you, and
Mm-hmm.
overall that entire like just surrounding yourself with creators of different levels, it it just rounds everything up, if that makes sense. Like
Mm-hmm.
you've got people who you can learn from, you've got people who can walk along with you, and you've got people who you can help, and it's
Mm-hmm.
just like a really nice ecosystem. So there's definitely a lot of value in finding a community. Funny enough, it was something that popped up when I did a Creators Unplugged when I was there for Build.
Mm-hmm.
Somebody who was in New York for a couple of years already, and they moved to New York specifically to meet other creatives. She said that was like the first time that she got to do like and meet other creators. And I was saying, it didn't pop up
Mm-hmm.
until that point, but I realized that there must be a lot of other people who feel the same way. And the advice that I gave her was, if you can't find it, then start it. That was like where it started for me. Like I couldn't find it here. I wanted it so much that I just went ahead and started it.
Ugh, if you build it, they will come. Literally.
Yes,
Yeah. Yeah.
literally.
Oh my God, that's such good advice because so many, I mean, especially in New York, like it's so shocking the creator would feel siloed because this is like content creation capital other than LA. And I feel like it's so true though. Like so many creators are like, oh, I don't get the invites to certain things. Or, like some events have gatekeeping where they don't want micro creators, they only want macro creators. And I feel like if you feel that way, like go out there, yeah, and like build it yourself. Or obviously follow B&H creators because we host
Exactly.
these yeah events all the time.
Yes.
Yeah. Okay, we're gonna play a little game. So we're doing this thing where it's like question hot potato. So
Hmm.
our previous guest Shu asked a question, then you will answer, and then you will think of a new question for the next creator. So are you ready to play?
Yes.
Okay, so let's hear Shu's question. When
Okay.
you feel burnt out or stuck in your career, what is the biggest motivating factor to get out of it and continue to do what you do?
The why. The
Ooh.
why, yeah. Um,
Mm-hmm.
and it all stems from Simon Sinek's book of Start with Why, because the why is what's gonna get you through the days that you just don't want to do it. Like for some apparent reason, either you're just hella burnt out, or you just don't see the point, or you feel lost. The why of why you started in the first place
Mm-hmm.
helps. And like I'll be honest, like the why changes over time, because when I started, all I wanted were the free things. It's a lifestyle. I wanted a gold plaque. There's no shame in that, right?
Yeah,
That's
yeah.
how I started. But then eventually, when I grew as a creator and my perspective shifted, and I found like a different why, and that has
Mm-hmm.
kept me going. It was at first, it was that, and then it grew to wanting to be able to take the stuff that I've learned and the experiences and be able to share that with um, the creators who might not have access to that, at least here also in the Philippines. And then from there, it was to start communities where we can eat, like support each other,
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
and make that grow and hopefully have like a trickle effect or like a butterfly effect, so that it gets to help more and more and more people. But ultimately, when you feel burnt out, I really feel like you got to go back to the why. Yeah.
Okay, so what question do you have for our next guest?
What is your current favorite gear that you bring around with you? It's like it's something that you always bring with you.
Okay, well, as B&H, I want to thank you for that question because we love a gear question. That's awesome.
I
Um,
got you guys.
yeah, and then I got to ask you the same thing. Obviously, don't leave us on a cliffhanger. What's your favorite piece of gear?
iFootage Cobra monopod. I've had it for like a week, but I've been playing
Okay.
around with it for so much. No, 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 wait. I changed my answer. It's called the Revo Ring, and it's cool because there's a mechanism to it that lets it fit from like a, because I have it on right now, a
Oh.
67 to an
Mm-hmm.
87 without the need for step up rings.
That's handy. Yeah, I
Mhm.
love that. All right. Well, thank you so much, Bea. We are so honored to have you. Can you tell everyone where to follow you and how to connect?
Find me everywhere, online, Instagram, Facebook, TikTok, YouTube, at Bea Chu TV. And if you want to follow and just, ear to the ground kind of thing, at critters.unplugged.
Well, definitely let us know next time you're in New York because we will definitely like collaborate together. I want to like see
For
Unplugged
sure.
in person. And everybody else, thank you so much for listening. Please follow B&H as well. It's bh.creators on Instagram and bh creators on TikTok. Until the next one, thank you guys. See you soon.